Hello everyone, I'm Srishti and we are here at the end of Innovation 2.0 at IBS Bangalore. I'm here with Dr. Sainath M. He is the Executive Director of ICFI. So a very warm welcome to you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Yes. So can we start with your experience and how was the overall Innovation 2.0 here at IBS?
It was a very pleasant experience, I must say that, and it is just not coming from me. Even the dignitaries who came here, the startups who came here, and the visitors who came here, they were unanimous in saying that it was a very pleasant experience for them. They were very happy with the way the student team worked in the background, the professionalism shown by the students as well as the faculty members, the arrangements that were made. And overall, it was a very, very good experience and something which I think many of us will cherish.
Thank you so much, sir, for the compliments. We will definitely work harder and improve ourselves much more in the future. So we here are also starting with our Sarjana Kendra, our own innovation incubation center. So giving your background, can you give us few insights on how we can develop and build on that?
See, the innovation center which you have opened here is a dedicated space, where ideators, thinkers, and innovators can actually come and meet. So, having a dedicated space, which you can call your own, helps a lot, to think creatively, which is the first step, for beginning your journey in the pathway of entrepreneurship. So, if you do not have a dedicated space, where like-minded people can discuss. If you do not have a dedicated space, where you can sit alone, confabulate with people of your own domain interest, and then attend to your own work in your interest, it becomes very difficult to make any kind of progress. So, having a dedicated space for this kind of activity is a brilliant move, and I must congratulate the Pro Vice Chancellor and your faculty members who thought about this idea and opened this Kendra. Having said that, it's a good beginning you have made, but it's very, very important to ensure that there is a good productive use of this space that has been provided. And you can do that by actually living up to the founding ideals with which the space itself was created. Like I told you before we began this small session, it is, using the space for thinking about innovative ideas, meeting with innovative people, inviting those who are involved with the innovation ecosystem to talk to you all. All this, in a very dedicated and a totally informal setting. See, it should not be, of course, I am not against formal sessions. A session like having a stage and neatly laid out chairs, that is required to some extent. But where actual work begins to get done is in a totally informal setting.
Yeah.
Wherein, there's no pressure on you to actually think or behave in a particular way. And that's Srijanike. So you can see, I was very pleasantly surprised to see two beanbags there.
Yes.
Now, for example, you would never find a beanbag in a formal situation.
Yeah.
Imagine having your beanbags in a Pro VC's office. Doesn't make sense, right? A formal location has to have a formal thing. An informal setting needs an informal furniture and other equipment furnishings also. So this is very, very important for you to see that that space is put to proper use. For me personally, I would love to see a few startups beginning to emerge from that space. So, at least, it doesn't matter to me at what stage of ideation they are, but I'm sure we would see a few student ideators coming up with very good ideas over there, working on those ideas, trying to build prototypes and proofs of concepts over there, and possibly one day even set up an office of their startup over there. That is what we are looking at. How to get it done? You will get all the support from your faculty and all of us there in Hyderabad. But making that happen is once again the responsibility of the youngsters like you. So that is what I would like to see that center slowly becoming. And the best compliment would be one day when you people come and tell us that that space is no longer enough for us. The faster that happens, I think the better it is being put to good use. It's a very good indicator of how well you are utilizing that space.
Definitely, sir. We do believe as a team, like it's the best time for any of us, like we doing an MBA, to start a startup, because we have like so many faculties and students friends to support us to, they will kind of will be our first customers or at least our first promoters. So definitely the space will be a very huge support to them, whoever has a good idea and wants to act on it, as the speakers were saying that we need to act.
Yeah.
So we will definitely do our best. And also, like, listening from you, it felt like all our planning, like we planned for those bean bags. So it is like I felt very good knowing that it kind of aligned with what you envision.
Definitely
So
does.
it definitely
Don't make it a very formal place, with the formal paintings, formal tables, formal chairs. Make it as informal a place as possible. Something that appeals to people of your age group, because fresh ideas and the capacity to take risk is the strongest in people of your age group, not in people like us. So and for you to function, you should not be pressurized by formal straitjacketed atmosphere.
yes.
You should be given a space, where you have the freedom to think and the freedom to discuss and the freedom to voice your thoughts. And the Srijana Kendra is exactly that.
So any advice from your side to any budding entrepreneurs? What would be their first steps if they are, like you said, you don't care if what ideation stage they are, but any advice which to propel them towards success?
See, more than entrepreneurship, I'm looking at the Srijana Kendra to create what is called as an entrepreneurial mindset. So, entrepreneurial mindset is a totally different thing, very much needed for every human being, because it teaches you to face adversity, to stumble, get up, again stumble, again get up, but keep on moving forward in a positive spirit. Never give up hope. So that's an entrepreneurial mindset. Always try to look for solutions and not see the problem. Problem is there, but we tend to get bogged down by the problems. Either we come up with a solution or we dodge it and go bypass it. One of the two happens. But an entrepreneur, if he is fascinated by a problem, he or she, they will try out any number of solutions until they get a answer to solve that problem. So an entrepreneurial mindset is very, very important. So when people say, come for an entrepreneurial session or an entrepreneurship course or something, they get put off, saying that it means I have to create a startup. Creating a startup is the far away.
Yes.
Much before that is developing the mindset. So even tomorrow you complete your MBA and you go for a regular job, having that entrepreneurial mindset of being able to critically analyze, emotionally stable, and practically think. These are all what is the quality of an entrepreneurial mindset. Can you deny the fact that these three are not required for database managers?
No.
They're very much needed. So entrepreneurial mindset is very, very important. That's my first take of the situation. The second one is, if you actually go through the journey of creating an entrepreneurship venture, we call something called as idea validation or creating a blueprint for your startup. It's also called as a lean canvas model by some people. So if you take a look at that lean canvas model, you have some critical questions which an entrepreneur is expected to answer before he or she ventures into creating their startup. What are these questions? Like, is the problem a really valid one? How relevant it is to the contemporary society?
Yes.
So the search begins at that point itself. Second, is there anybody else providing a solution to this problem? If they're already doing it, what is your unique value proposition? Who are your competitors? What is your revenue model? What is your growth strategy? How are you planning to fund your startup? How are you planning to acquire your customers? So these are all typical questions which any manager would be expected to think about, even if they are going into a regular job.
Yes.
Right? Today or tomorrow, they have to be trained to think on these lines. An entrepreneur does it all the time, because it is his life at stake.
Yes.
So they think a little more, while a normal person who's getting into a regular job might think a little bit less about this. But we cannot deny the fact that these questions, what I just raised, is definitely something every manager who is aspiring to do well in his or her life must be thinking about. So therefore, this is the second point I wish to make. So getting trained as an entrepreneur is a very good idea of getting a practical ringside view of how the business world runs. How you create a business, how you run it, how you sustain it, how you scale it. And you have some very interesting case studies to read as a part of your research, which tell you what leads to the creation of an organization, the success of organizations, the failures of organizations. That's exactly what even every entrepreneur does. When they're filling their lean canvas model, answering the questions what I just mentioned, these are exactly what he or she needs. So, my advice is therefore twofold. Being an entrepreneur is secondary. Developing an entrepreneurial mindset is first. It doesn't matter whether you want to become a startup founder or whether you want to go into a regular job. The entrepreneurial mindset is very, very important, and that's one point. Second point I would like to tell you here is whatever you do, the pathway selected by an entrepreneur gives you a ringside view about how to plan and execute and sustain a business.
Okay.
That is an important education which I would urge every one of the youngsters like you to, and your people whoever are there to take up that. Understand what it is to become an entrepreneur. You don't have to become a founder, it's not mandatory.
Yes.
But going through that journey is very, very important. And finally, if you are really bitten by the bug of entrepreneurial mindset after these 2 points, by all means go ahead and do it. But I have to caution you, being an entrepreneur is not easy. It is a dedicated life. You have to be available 24 bar 7. You cannot run on a regular office timing. I'll come at 8 and I will go at 5. I won't work on a Saturday. I won't work on a Sunday. Those things won't work here.
Yeah, you cannot zone out of it.
No. So in a regular job, what happens is you can have a steady life for getting up at this time, going to sleep at this time. You can go to gym at this time. You can go to a movie theater on the weekends and all those things. But being an entrepreneur, it's not like that. You have to struggle, but once your venture succeeds, even then you cannot rest because you have competition at your heels.
Yes.
So you have to stay one step ahead. So it is a challenging job, but I have met founders, who are so fascinated by that life that they find it very challenging because it challenges their intelligence all the time. It challenges their abilities all the time. It helps them to discover their inner strength all the time. It helps them come face to face with their own weaknesses. These are very important lessons you learn along the way. But like I told you, not everybody needs to follow this path. But first two, everyone, I suggest take that path. Third one, in case those of you are fascinated by being an entrepreneur, they can take that path. But I also outlined to you what it really means.
Yeah, you didn't paint any rosy picture
No.
for. Yes.
We shouldn't be fooling, people into taking a decision which you like.
Yes.
We should encourage people to take a decision which is good for them.
True. Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable insights. I am sure many of our students will be very inspired and also have a realistic view of what they should expect when they go in this path. So thank you so much.
Thank
It
you
was
very
lovely
much.
having you.
Thank you very much.